folks, welcome to the channel. Today, as promised, we are going to start our assembly of the STK1 Strat model from Solo Music Gear. And we're going to start with the simplest of all possible operations. And I'm not following the instructions directly because the instructions actually start with the machine heads. But we're just going to start on the bridge end because that will allow us to do some soldering later on once this is out of the way. So very simply, the bridge just drops in, right? Shouldn't be too complicated if you can line up the holes a little bit. And it's just a series of Phillips head screws. The main thing that you want to watch for, I don't know if you can see this on the video, is when you've got a bridge coming in, especially on any kind of import, this is the section here that the bridge slides on. So as you're doing a vibrato or any kind of tremolo work, if this is threaded all the way up, that will actually bind on you and it won't work all that well. These are obviously designed properly for this purpose. So the other thing is, you don't want, when you install these, you don't want them to be in completely tight. You know, you want to actually have them backed off just a little bit. That will give the bridge just a tiny bit of play. We don't want that much play, obviously. And I'm actually going to switch to a little bit bigger bit because these are larger than I thought they were. And we want to get these lined up, you know, as best we can horizontally. And this is actually going to be the first test for the alignment on this instrument to see how well the CNC work has been done to line up these holes. We have, or we'll be getting an upgrade bridge that we checked the holes line up, but the bridge is actually a little bit too wide for the stock pick guard because it's a bigger piece of metal. That's nothing we can't work around with a little bit of ingenuity. But you can see this just goes in. This is a standard 6-hole, 21.5 millimeter. I think that's what it is, 21.5 millimeters. String spacing. That doesn't sound right. I'll look that up when we go to do the bridge replacement. But it is a standard 6-hole bridge that you would get on like a Squire. It's not the same spacing you would get on a Fender American Standard or Made in Mexico Strat. It is the same that you would get on a Squire. Okay. And we're just gonna pop this last one in here and you'll see it kind of starts to look a little bit more like a guitar now. Just fill that in. There we go. Okay. And these are lined up nicely. It looks reasonably straight. We haven't done anything, obviously, with the intonation. This is a typical saddle setup. If we flip this over, you'll see you'll see the screws have actually just started to pierce through the back of the guitar here. So it's not, like I said, it's not Strat standard, and it's certainly not set up to be that way. We're just going to pop the spring claw on the back because without the spring claw we can't do the ground wire. If we don't do the ground wire, we can't do the wiring. Okay. I'm going to put this in, but I'm not going to make it tight. So, you know, we just want it attached right now because the next thing, while we're here and while we have the back open, right, obviously you want it a little bit tighter so that the back can sit flush, but while we have the back open, right, we're just going to hook that into the middle. We'll try to hook that into the middle. So we back off a little bit. Okay. This is a little bit easier than it would be on floating trim, but it's not, still not the easiest thing in the world. So you got a little bit of slack here, which is okay. You can connect these outer holes to the outer hooks. I think most people like to put them kind of inward a little bit, right? So that they have a little bit more tension and a little bit more control. I'm not looking at the other side of the video here, so I can't really tell if we're still on screen. There we are. Okay. A little bit more tension and a little bit more control. This guitar, like a few of them I've seen, has a little divot here that will actually make the soldering a little bit easier. You just simply have to slip that underneath the ground wire. And we'll just give this a yank. This is not going to cooperate because I'm on camera. Right? Try it a little bit. There we go. And slide it in. Nice sliding. There we go. Snug there. Okay. So now that's in. And we're not quite flush to the bottom here. So we're going to just add a little bit of tension now. You'll see the springs kind of tighten up a little bit more. Okay, they don't have to be super tight. They do have to resist the tension of the strings from the other side though. Okay, so that's kind of the deal. So when the strings are connected through, when the strings are connected on the other side, they'll pull the bridge away from the body. And I'm just going to pop the bar in. You can see here, just going to pop this in. It looks like it's reasonably straight. I mean, we'll find out for sure. And there's nothing substantially wrong on a bridge of this type being slightly out of alignment, because we do have an adjustable intonation that way, right? But there's your bridge. See how it's pulling back? So the springs will naturally tend to draw the bridge down, right? And we've got a little bit of play here, which is what we want. And that's it. So that's the installation of the bridge on the STK1. And when we come back, we're going to take a look at the machine heads, which are slightly trickier, but not by a lot. Okay, so let's just say have a great day, and we will be back in a future episode.